everybody, welcome back to my channel. If this outfit looks familiar, that's because we just did our setup video. We set up the Cricut. We did the simple project, if you remember. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to teach myself some stuff. So why don't I teach you guys as well? All right, so let me put you in and hang on. Okay, so first I want to let you know I am learning it. That's what this video series is, learning it with me. This is not me teaching it to you, okay? When I go to teach you guys this, when I have mastered this program, and when I'm ready to teach it to you, I will actually have better video overhead to the screen and stuff. But what I'm learning about this program, it's very similar to other art type programs. It has some very similar components to some of the card making programs I've used in the past, some of the printmaking programs I've used in the past. And that being said, so I picked it up a little easier. So what I'm doing is I've wanted to create a label on the chalkboard label on the mason jar tissue holder that I created the other day. I wanted to create one on the back, and what I did was knew that I wanted it to be a 3.5 inch wide label so it would fit nicely on the jar. And on the markings on the design studio, it has the markings of the increments of an inch that match your Cricut mat, which is really very cool. So you're able to play off that. You're able to say, okay, I want a 3.5 inch shape. And the shape that I just picked, I picked it from the shapes. It's just an octagon, and then I stretched it long. So it almost looks like a rectangular tab label with the corners cut off, like almost with tabs. And then I wanted to write the words bless you, as you know. And what I found out with this is that it does offer you a lot of different fonts. However, most of them cost money. But what you can do is whatever fonts are on your device included, you can use for free. So one of the fonts that was on my device was a handwritten font. I really liked it. So I went ahead and I used it. And I didn't have to pay for it. The same thing goes with the shape. They have really pretty label shapes. They have really pretty scroll looking shapes, but they all cost money. Obviously there's lots of free ones on the internet that you can download. This is just first starting. I've never downloaded anything other than the app. So this is just, I wanted to show you the basic stuff that you can kind of do, a little bit of stuff you could do without having any more extra money or downloading anything just yet. So here I've written the word bless you, and what I've found out is the way that the Cricut is set up is for the letters to almost always be cut out. They are spaced far apart. They're spaced as if each letter was in its own little square or own little rectangle, if that makes sense. So the way you would naturally write the word you, for example, is you would put the capital O and then tucked under the one arm of the capital Y, and tucked under one arm of the Y would be the O, and right next to the O would be the U. However, in this program, as in many programs, the O and the U were removed from the Y. The Y, if you imagine where its arms extended straight down into a rectangle, that's how much space was there. So what I did was I created a secondary text box. Basically, you create a text box, you write the word bless you. I got it to the size that I could see it, not even the size that I wanted to keep it, but the size that I could see it. And then I went ahead and I created a new text box, the same font, the same size, and I wrote just an O and a U separately. Then what I did was I enlarged the O and the U, overlapped the existing O and the U so I could get the exact same size and placement. Then what I did was I moved it over, deleted the original O and U, and this way it fit really nicely. Once you've done that with all your letters, because I also had to do that in the word bless, once you've done that with all of your letters, then you go ahead and there's a tool here called weld, and when you've welded them together, what that does is that creates all of the letters to be basically you've created like one text box out of the 3 text boxes that you used to form your letters in better spaces. And then once it's all welded together, then you can manipulate it to the size that you want, to the color that you want, and so on and so forth. So there is a button on there that changes the black letters to cut letters, which basically it cuts them out. Whether you're doing a vinyl sticker where you're going to use the letter, or like I am doing where we're going to use the background. A lot of people use the backgrounds. Basically, the label that I made can be like a stencil for someone. I, of course, wanted just to create it like a label. It was just a vision that I had that I wanted to do, and it's something that I didn't really see much of. Sometimes in monograms, you could see others will do the cutouts in monograms, but nothing like this, okay? So you can see here, I'm still actually working on adjusting all of the letters to fit nestled together, more uniformly, okay? Then after I have that all done and welded and ready to go, then there's a button that allows you to create cut letters. You can go to edit, and edit gives you a lot of different features. Like I said, when I'm ready to give you guys an actual tutorial, we will go through the program step by step. So just bear with me as I learn as well. So as you can see how I've finally gotten the letters spaced exactly how I want them, the right size, and I've welded them together to make one complete text box, one uniform text box. It's one united, that was the word I was looking for, one united text box. And now I can manipulate its size, and I can have it so it fits inside of the octagon, okay? But once I do that, then I want to try to figure out how do you change the color, how do you make it so it cuts it out. And that's where I found the button that said cut. It was part of the editing of the text, okay? And then what that did was, even on my sample, it created white letters on the black background, and that showed me where it was going to cut. And I am sorry about the light changing on this, but I told you when we actually do tutorials, I'll be able to film it much better for you guys, okay? So what I'm using for the vinyl is I did buy vinyl from Joann's, and I also bought transfer paper. However, what I'm going to use here is this chalkboard paper that I got from the Dollar General. It was $1 a roll. You get 20 inches by 18 inches, I think. Maybe 24 inches by 18 inches, one or the other. So I just cut a piece that I knew was big enough. I stuck it to the vinyl mat in the position that I wanted it to be, which was at the 1-1 position. That's not what they call it, that's what I call it. Basically where the 1 across meets the 1 down. And then I made sure I followed all the instructions where I laid it flat, I fed it under the feet. The machine walks you through it just like we did in our setup. The machine tells you to when to go ahead and load your mat, and then the program tells you to go load your mat. The machine flashes the button, then the program tells you to go ahead and hit go, and then the machine flashes the go button, and then it does all of the cutting for you, which is pretty neat if you ask me. It's kind of a cool thing, and I still love my family in Texas for giving this to me because I'm just super excited, by the way. So I shared on my Instagram, while this is cutting out, I shared on my Instagram that I didn't have a weeding box. And not everybody uses a weeding box, but basically it's like an old tissue box or something that when you peel away little pieces of vinyl, there's no real place to put them because they want to stick to everything. So what people do as a tip, and I'll share this with you again when we do tutorials, that you take an old tissue box and you basically throw all your little leftover pieces of vinyl in there when you weed them off of your project. So I didn't have a weeding box, and at first, the first time I cut, I kind of started to get like cheap, and I was like, no, save the letters. But I was like, no, let me just throw them away. But since I didn't have any place to initially stick them, I stuck them on the back of my hand. So for the weeding, what we're doing is we're peeling off the pieces of vinyl that we don't want anymore. For this project, it's going to be everything outside of the octagon label, and then all of the letters on the inside of the octagon label. But we want to make sure we keep the centers of the E and the O, if you know what I mean, and the centers of the B, because we want to make sure that they stay, so that we can get that full effect of that entire letter. Okay, so you just very carefully with this sort of dental tool, you pick at the vinyl that you want to discard. Don't try to pick outside of it. You want to pick it. And then what you do is you grab it up, and then I liked those little tiny tweezers. They were really great. And then I just used those teeny tiny tweezers to pick up the whole letter, making sure that I left all of the insides behind, and then and then discarded the letter, apparently on the back of my hand. I'm silly. And just about here or coming soon, I did notice I do notice that it's very bright, but I knew that I brightened it because you wouldn't be able to see me working on the black paper very well without me brightening it. So I want to forgive that I look very, 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 very bright in this picture. I'm in this video, but I wanted you to be able to see the black words that I was working on. Okay. There we go. So now you can see the word on the back of my hand, and then that's what's left over of the label. So, oh, I'm sorry, I'm still weeding. That's right, I have to weed the word you, because, it's not just bless. So, once I have all of the letters, now, tips that I've learned from others, from watching other people's tutorials, is they like to weed the smallest pieces first. I don't know why. I haven't done it the opposite way to test it to say, oh yeah, that's why. But they leave the border on. They weed out the little pieces, and then they pull off their border at the end. But I haven't tested all the different ways. This is just the way that I wanted to do it. So I peeled the border off at the end, and oh yeah, because I'm being cheap. I got to save all the extra vinyl, right? So peel the outside of the label, everything that I'm discarding from the outside. And now I'm taking up here a piece of clear contact paper. This contact paper is just from the Dollar Tree. A lot of people use it for vinyl transfer. I want it to be just a little bit bigger than my label, at least. And then I'll show you how I was taught to work with it. So what I'm doing is I'm going to peel back some of the paper. I'm going to keep the paper intact, and I'm going to stick the vinyl on the edge on top of the label that I made. So I'm going to half peel it, stick it on top of my label that I made, and then I'm going to use my burnisher to gently, not very, very roughly, but gently make sure it all sticks to the vinyl, and then test it. You see the B stuck behind, so make sure I rub that down and peel it slowly so that you make sure your entire vinyl sticker comes onto the clear contact paper. Okay? And then once you have that and all of your letters and vinyl is stuck to the clear contact paper, then you can position it on your work where you want it and rub it in. Now, because this mason jar was textured, it's got like a raised, a print on it. It did take a little bit of extra effort with my finger and then the squeegee to get the vinyl to stick all around. Okay. So this is the squeegee that came with the kit, the Cricut toolkit that I got for Christmas. Okay, and I'm just using the very corner of it to rub. And you can see that this is at 2 times speed. So take your time. But, you guys don't have to sit there and watch me meticulously do that. That's crazy. So then you slowly start to peel back your transfer paper, and make sure all of your letters have stuck really well. And anything that hasn't, you can just press it down as you go. But I like to take my time. Like, again, this is 2 times speed, so you can see I'm going slow, because it looks like I'm going slow and I'm going twice as slow. Okay? And just go slower. And then once I do that, I use my finger just to press the vinyl down. So I wanted this to look like a label with chalkboard written on it, and I hope that that's what I achieved. Because, of course, you could have just stuck the letters on there. That would have been okay, too. All right? So that's it. I did it. I successfully did my first independent project. I can't wait. Honestly, guys, I can't tell you. I cannot wait to master this program so I can be able to teach you guys just all of the fun things. My brain is like flooding. My brain is flooding all the things that we can do. Okay? I know I'm getting obsessive now with the squeegee. Come on, Jerry, just put the squeegee down. Come on, you can do it. So that's it. So I hope you really enjoyed this video. Thank you for learning it with me. And as always, take care. God bless. See you next time. Bye. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. Does this outfit look familiar? Yes. If you watched the last Cricut video of how to... Look at that flyaway one right there. Where is it? There it is. If you... Hi, everybody. Welcome.